Hey guys, Christ169 here, coming to you live, or uploaded live. It is on 5:01 p.m. on Wednesday. I'm coming here to you live, telling you about the acquisition that Xbox had to buy Blizzard. Activision has fallen through. Fallen through for now. How did it fall through? Because the UK government blocked it. Why they block it? It's kind of funny why they blocked it. Not really funny, if you're a Microsoft or an Xbox fanboy, a Defense Force fighter, but funny nonetheless. It was blocked because of cloud-based gaming. The UK is convinced that if Xbox, Microsoft, the entity behind Xbox, we have to use Microsoft because they're the entity behind Microsoft, behind Xbox, that owns Xbox. If Xbox was on its own company, I'll say Xbox Studios. But Microsoft, once again, the company behind Xbox that funds and has Phil Spencer run it, but he's had people above him going, tapping his shoulder, still. But he is, pretty much in charge of it. So if Xbox was by itself, I would use Xbox Company, Xbox Studios, whatever, but this is a Microsoft acquisition. That for the Xbox brand. That being said, going forward, when I say Microsoft Company, I'm talking about Xbox, okay? Good. Get on to it. It was because of cloud-based gaming. And it sounds kind of stupid, but we had Stadia that survived for almost 2 years, or a year or two, that died out. Where was Google Stadia? Where was the UK then trying to help them? If they're so worried about cloud-based, I forgot. They're worried about their own cloud-based services. What they wanted. They didn't care about American stuff. Because if they care about American stuff, then Google will be exploding in UK. Maybe Google should have sold the rights over to UK, maybe. And maybe the cloud-based gaming. But then again, no, people might say that, well, sell it to Stadia there, and cloud-based gaming is not streaming. It's different than streaming. It's you're putting information, you're holding information in a cloud, your saves, your games, and it's being streamed from the cloud to you. What happened with Google, and people have messaged me about this on Facebook Messenger that asked me, well, why did Stadia fail if it's a cloud-based service, and people in UK bought it? And I explained to them, because Stadia was not a cloud-based service. It was a streaming service that streamed from the Google hub centers to your house, computer, phone, whatever. It was not the same thing. But what Xbox is doing with the cloud service is different. And because of that, and because of that situation, the federal government of UK's government, got pretty antsy and decided to block it. Now, Microsoft can appeal the decision, say, hey, we're going to fight this, and it's their prerogative. They can fight it all they want. But I'm seeing this not going anywhere for a while. Because right now, the cloud-based services in UK and European countries are not as good here in the States. Japan obviously has a better idea of technology than we do. So they're kind of on the fence. They don't care because they have Nintendo, but Sony's fans are roaring at the delight of this situation. They're happy that this fall through. Personally, I wouldn't care if I had a PS5 and if I lost Call of Duty. This is to be perfectly frank, folks. Call of Duty has not been good since Call of Duty 4, World at War. Cold War was a good one. World War II is pretty interesting. But I've been playing Battlefield 2042 and having a great time on it. But I digress. Microsoft could buy smaller studios like your Ubisofts, your Capcom, your CD Projekt Reds, all the other, or even EA, for example. So you PlayStation fanboys there who like playing Battlefield might want to worry about that maybe. Because yeah, they might not get the prom queen, but they might get the runner-up that's, just as beautiful. So you have to look at it that way. Could what happen if Sony wanted to buy EA for whatever reason? Why we went with that dumpster fire as well? Because they're both companies to me, Activision and EA, and to me, both companies to me are dumpster fires. I'm sorry to say it. No, I love EA. I love their games. I love Battlefield 2042, but their management sucks. They have terrible communication, and Activision just has sexual harassment nonsense going on. And to me, both companies are in the toilet right now. But it's Battlefield that's really giving EA a new look. Essentially, where you didn't have that before. Where you didn't have that at all, actually. But going forward now to understand this, you really have to take time to really think about what's going on. Take time to really what's going on in the situation at hand right now. And to really consider how things are going and what's going on and how to deal with this. Microsoft considering, okay, well, they'll keep fighting this for another 2 years. Or they can throw a appeal out there and go, hey, hey, Capcom, you want to be bought for $10 billion? Okay, sign here. Start buying up studios. Granted, they might not have the same problem they'll have with Activision, because Activision is a big-ass company. All these studios are big. But Activision is like taking all those companies I mentioned and putting them on one umbrella. And even having more room left over for more companies. You think Bethesda was beefy. Activision makes Bethesda look like an appetizer compared to what Activision is and how big they are and what they have. Candy Crush is probably the best-selling, best-selling free game out there. People buy hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of Candy Crush crap just to crush candy on our phone or tablet for hours on end. That's what the world has come to, folks. But not saying that World of Warcraft and stuff like that and Diablo, these are great titles on Activision umbrella. So that being said, though, what is the big problem with this? Really, I don't think Sony had nothing to do with this. Even though the fanboys, Sony ponies, would love to say, "Oh, we stopped this." No, it was because the UK was afraid of the fact that the cloud-based services that they were getting up was going to be overshadowed or taken over by Activision, now under Microsoft. That would be their fear, and that is their fear, and that's why they blocked it. See, to buy a company as big as Activision, you have to get your ducks in order. You can't just go out there and start buying like Walt Disney and buying what you want. You can't go buy, and buy. Yay, money throw. No. Because you have to have these countries and companies that may do business with Activision. Hey, yeah, we're good, or no, I want to need to know, because this doesn't look like we're getting much money out of this deal. And people probably had this too, well. The corporate people at Activision, like, yeah, we'll go with some golden parachutes, and we'll sail off Sunset and run off the Sunset together. And Activision's floating away with Microsoft, and they'll go off and float off in the sunset, on their parachutes, and golden parachutes. And that could be, the Activision hope and dream of those corporate guys to get their last big payday and sail off the sauce and fly off in the sunset. And it could have been, but it didn't happen. Right now. That doesn't mean it won't happen, folks. Doesn't mean it won't happen, okay? Doesn't mean like, oh my God, it ain't gonna happen because evil PlayStation. No. PlayStation had nothing to do with this. This was done by a government entity on another continent. You know, flexing its muscles saying, hey, we don't like this because it makes us feel that you're going to do like a hostile takeover of all the cloud-based services in UK that maybe, march across the world. And even though you're on a cloud-based gaming service anyway, people in UK are playing Xbox Live. They have Game Pass. I'm like, what does it matter, right? It ain't like Game Pass is only in the United States. So I don't see the problem with it. Oh my God, no, we can't have this in our country because, it's cloud-based gaming and we're worried about ours. Half your country probably plays Xbox Game Pass, probably has Xbox ecosystem already established in their lives. Letting them have all the Call of Duty from Call of Duty 1 and all the ones that are weirder Call of Duties in one little basket, say, hey, Game Pass. I guess it's too much for them, I guess. So, Activision's fallen through a deal. It's not terrible. But stock has plummeted a little bit for Activision. They've gone down a lot of points. And it could hurt them a little more. Well, they may do business with. And one person messaged me on Facebook again, too, as well. And asked me, do you think that Microsoft and Sony will get together and try to portion off Activision, buy parts of it? And I said, I don't know. Because, Lowe's and Home Depot bought Craftsman from Sears and portioned off certain parts. And the Craftsman being a good brand. Lowe's got the lawnmowers and Craftsman got a lot, I think Home Depot got a lot of generators from Craftsman or whatever it was, case called, whatever it was. So it's different things, right? Different stuff. So, no, it could be. Like I said, though, Activision is a very big company. But would Activision just sell Call of Duty? And if they do, to who? EA? Oh, my God, that would be an interesting situation. EA gets Call of Duty and then turns it into a Battlefield game. The fanboys will explode and lose their minds. Call of Duty Facebook fanboys will lose their minds. I would laugh, though. Because to me, it'd be funny to me. It'd be funny to this fat guy right here. But that ain't gonna happen. Could CD Projekt Red? Maybe. Could Capcom buy them? Probably not. But I don't think that Activision's gonna sell Call of Duty. Because it's a cash cow. But I also don't think that Activision's going to sit there and no one be cannibalized by 2 or 3 different companies, Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, just rip it into them like a bunch of pack of lions and to a dead gazelle, ripping it apart. That's a great image you want to have. Doing that. But then again, no, if Activision, if the deal fell through, and they try to push it. And they can't push it, and they can't get it to work, then for a whole 2 years, year and a half, 2 years, it's been for nothing. And the fanboys are going to be, Xbox fanboys are going to be salty, they're going to be hiding from PlayStation fanboys. It's going to come, Xbox fanboys. Now, your day of reckoning is coming. You're going to be getting into those parties, Xbox parties, those Call of Duty game parties. You're going to be hearing those fanboy Xbox, PlayStation ponies really start stomping on your head. And you gotta just sit there in your little mad face, little Xbox hat, and just take it because you have no choice. Because a government entity stopped your precious Microsoft from buying Activision and Call of Duty. Essentially what it boiled down to. But I don't hold weight that Sony would be the biggest reason why it fell through. I'm convinced it was because the situation at hand with the federal government of UK and their streaming services. They're more worried about their services not being overshadowed by Microsoft's services. Microsoft's pretty big anyway. Let's be honest with ourselves. They're humongous. They don't have to have, a reason. They're very humongous. So to say that people are not surprised is an understatement. Dreamcast guy wasn't really surprised about it, but he was kind of shocked, but not surprised, but shocked how it went down. You thought it'd become some kind of lawsuit. Sony would have blocked it or made people wait a little bit. No, this whole thing just torpedoed it right now. Now, like I said, that Microsoft can appeal, and they will appeal to this situation, but it looks very grim. But like I said before, they could buy Capcom, CD Projekt Red, Ubisoft, different developers. They may even buy some EA or buy EA if they wanted to, and not worry about Activision anymore. So you'll lose your Resident Evils on PlayStation. You may lose your Cyberpunk 2s. Insomniac Games is bought by Sony, so they're locked down. But there's a lot of games out there that people play on PlayStation other than Call of Duty that may be lost. So that there, guys, this war has just begun. And I don't think it's Sony versus Microsoft. I think it's just Microsoft versus the world right now. Because Microsoft is going to launch their campaign. They're going to keep pushing and keep buying studios. Big ones, small ones, ones that pop out of the garage, ones that have been around for 20 years. They don't care. They'll go buy because they want to build up their ecosystem. And a lot of games on Game Pass. Yeah, some shovelware, but not as much as you think. Some good indie games are not bad on their all. So it's not saying that what happened to Microsoft with this acquisition or being blocked is a bad thing. It just means that Microsoft has to, rally their soldiers, their troops, their tanks. It's okay. Well, we're gonna go from here. We can do a frontal assault, or we're gonna go take out Capcom, buy some Ubisoft, or no, they're gonna divide and conquer. Force Sony to really understand, or even the UK government, hey, no, we don't need you to block us. We'll just buy these companies, and in most cases, Capcom is from Japan. They can go buy a Japan company, and they have a foothold in Japan, and not even need UK. There's many things that they can do. A lot of people just don't understand. And I think they're going to probably rally their troops and rally their generals, so to speak, and find okay, boys, what we going to do? Me, I'll be like, hey, I want to go buy Capcom over there in Japan. Get a better foothold, or make a deal with them to, whatever. Get a better foothold in Japan. Like I said, you get a better foothold in Japan. You get more money. Blah blah blah. More nobility. More notoriety in Japan. Better brand. Because UK is kind of off limits right now with whatever you want to call that. And then they can buy CD Projekt Red, Ubisoft. There goes Tomb Raiders, and other games there, and maybe 2K games. Oh, 2K games is a big one too, because they have GTA, Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out, only on Xbox. Could be. So the war's not over. And I want to be a Sony pony, me dancing, and gyrating out in the street. Gyrating, shaking your ass, on our light posts out in the street with happiness, thinking that this is one, because Microsoft can go, buy, and there goes your games you like to play on a console that you despise because it's a piece of plastic that you don't own or don't like. I have a gaming rig, so I don't care either way. But that's why we have some gaming PC people, we don't care. We're like, whatever. It's going to be on Steam, Xbox Game Pass app, or it's going to be on someplace I'll play it. It doesn't bother me. And if it's on PlayStation app and I can't play it, whatever. Don't bother me anymore. So, that's what I'm saying, guys. I don't think it's a bad thing. I give you scenarios what what may happen. Like I said, I'm an opinionated piece. That could happen that way. That could be a reason what could happen in the end if Microsoft really wanted to, take it to these companies. Say, hey, we're going to do this, this, and this, and buy those companies, that I mentioned. And 2K, that's releasing, Grand Theft Auto 6. Will be interesting to see how well they do, knowing very well that Microsoft has a lot of money backing them. They can give $10, $20 billion like that and buy them, and there goes your GTA 6. You ain't playing that anymore, or at all, on PlayStation. So I'd be careful, Sony guys. I wouldn't be gyrating out in the streets, because you could eat some crow when you have your Call of Duty that's stinking, but you don't have GTA 5 there, 6. That everybody's loving and selling millions and billions of copies, and you're sitting there playing Call of Duty. Be careful what you want. Be careful what you wish for, because you might get it, and it may not be what they always say. The grass is not always green on your side. Sometimes grass is not always green on your side. It might look green to you, but that's perception. So take care, guys. Peace, love. See you guys later. Like, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching my upload. Peace out.